It is a winter morning in Fatehpur Sikri, the red sandstone capital of the Mughal Empire. A physician in flowing robes kneels beside the bed of a courtier, his fingers pressed lightly against the man's wrist. He is not reading a Sanskrit text, nor consulting the stars of a Persian almanac. He is listening, as Galen taught 14 centuries before, for the rhythm of the four humours moving through the body. This is the story of how Greek medicine travelled across continents and empires to reach the court of Akbar the Great. It is a story of translation, of patronage, and of a science that refused to die. From the lecture halls of Alexandria to the hospitals of Baghdad, and finally to the gardens of Mughal India, a single idea persisted. The human body, the ancients believed, was a vessel of four liquids in delicate balance. The system began with Hippocrates in the 5th century before the Common Era. He proposed that health depended on four humours: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Each corresponded to an element, a season, and a temperament. Galen, working in Rome 3 centuries later, elaborated this scheme into a vast medical philosophy. When the Roman world fragmented, this knowledge did not vanish. It was carried east, into Syria and Persia, by scholars fleeing religious persecution. In the 8th and 9th centuries, the Abbasid caliphs of Baghdad commissioned translations on an extraordinary scale. The House of Wisdom rendered Galen, Hippocrates, and Dioscorides into Arabic. Greek medicine became Islamic medicine, and a new name was born, Tibbi Yunani, the medicine of the Greeks. The greatest synthesizer of this tradition was Ibn Sina, known in Europe as Avicenna. His canon of medicine, completed around the year 1025, ran to 1,000,000 words. It organized the entire humoral system into a working clinical manual. For 6 centuries, from Cordoba to Samarkand, the canon was the foundation of medical training. The canon traveled with merchants, with scholars, and with conquerors. By the 13th century, it had reached the Delhi Sultanate. Physicians trained in the Unani tradition served the courts of the Khaljis and the Tughlaqs. They competed, and sometimes collaborated, with practitioners of India's older medical system, Ayurveda. Two ancient sciences began a long and quiet conversation. That conversation reached its richest moment under the Mughals. Babur founded the dynasty in 1526, sweeping down from Central Asia with cannon and cavalry. He brought with him the cultural assumptions of the Timurid court, a Persian poetry, miniature painting, and Unani medicine. His grandson Akbar would transform this inheritance into something unprecedented. Akbar took the throne in 1556 at the age of 13. He was illiterate, curious, and extraordinarily intelligent. He surrounded himself with thinkers of every faith and philosophy. At his court of Fatehpur Sikri, he built a house of debate where Jesuits, Brahmins, Zoroastrians, and Sufis argued through the night. Medicine, like theology, became a field of intellectual exchange. The Ain-i Akbari, the great administrative chronicle compiled by Akbar's vizier Abul Fazl, lists the physicians of the imperial household. They are called Hakims, masters of the Unani art. Among them are Hakim Ali Jilani, Hakim Abul Fath, and Hakim Humam, names that recur in the chronicles of the age. They are paid handsomely, granted estates, and consulted on matters far beyond medicine. Their craft began with the pulse. A trained Hakim could distinguish dozens of pulse types, each indicating a humoral imbalance. He would examine the urine, the tongue, the complexion. He would ask about diet, sleep, and the patient's emotional state. Diagnosis was holistic, environmental, and deeply personal. Treatment followed the principle of opposites. A patient overheated by yellow bile would be cooled with sandalwood, rosewater, and cucumber. A body burdened by phlegm would be warmed with ginger, pepper, and honey. Diet was the first line of medicine, and only when food failed did the Hakim turn to compound drugs. Many recipes contained dozens of ingredients, ground in mortars of stone and brass. Akbar himself took a keen interest in these remedies. He maintained a royal pharmacy, the matbak, where ingredients arrived from across the known world. Saffron came from Kashmir, musk from Tibet, ambergris from the Arabian Sea. The emperor experimented with diets, with abstinence from meat, with the medicinal properties of opium. He was both patient and patron of the science he supported. What made the Mughal moment unique was its openness to synthesis. Unani physicians did not dismiss Ayurveda, they studied it. Sanskrit medical texts were translated into Persian under imperial patronage. The Tibai-Sikandari, compiled in the 16th century, drew on both traditions. Indian herbs entered the Unani pharmacopoeia. Greek humoral theory shaped Indian clinical practice. This cross-pollination extended to the institutions of healing. Akbar established hospitals, known as Darul Shifa, in the major cities of his empire. They were funded by imperial endowments and open to the poor. Physicians trained there in both theory and practice, copying manuscripts and grinding compounds. The model would persist for 2 more centuries under Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb. Jahangir, Akbar's son, recorded his own medical observations in his memoirs, the Chuzakai Jahangiri. He noted the effects of opium, of wine, of climate on his constitution. He commissioned detailed paintings of plants and animals, blending natural history with medical inquiry. The Mughal court became, in effect, a laboratory of the body. Yet the 4 humours were never simply a medical doctrine. They were a cosmology, linking the human body to the seasons, the planets, and the elements. A choleric man burned with yellow bile and the fire of summer. A melancholic was ruled by black bile and the cold of autumn. To heal the body was to restore its place in a larger harmony. This worldview began to fade in the West with the rise of anatomical dissection and chemical medicine. William Harvey described the circulation of blood in 1628, undermining the Galenic model. By the 18th century, European physicians had largely abandoned the humours. But in India, Unani medicine endured, sheltered by the Mughal courts and the communities they patronised. When the British East India Company displaced Mughal authority in the 18th and 19th centuries, Unani practitioners faced new pressures. Colonial administrators dismissed humoral theory as superstition. State funding shifted to Western biomedicine. Yet the Hakims persisted, teaching in private schools and treating patients in the bazaars of Delhi, Lucknow, and Hyderabad. In 1872, Hakim Ajmal Khan was born in Delhi into a family of court physicians. He would become the great modernizer of Unani medicine, founding the Ayurvedic and Unani Tibia College in 1916. He campaigned for state recognition, for scientific research, for the dignity of an ancient art. The system Akbar had once nurtured found, in him, a new champion. Today, Unani medicine remains a recognized system in India, with colleges, hospitals, and a government council overseeing its practice. In the clinics of Hyderabad and the apothecaries of Old Delhi, Hakims still take the pulse, still prescribe the cooling and the warming, still speak of balance. The 4 humours of Hippocrates, carried across 2,000 years and 10,000 miles, endure. In the quiet diagnosis of a single patient, an empire's intellectual legacy lives on.